Hello there girls and boys, in this video I'm gonna show you how to get a really amazing and powerful guitar sound using software, so stay tuned because it's gonna get heavy. Hey girls and boys, I'm gonna show you how to make a guitar sound like this. And yes, I am just using a virtual instrument, well, a virtual guitar amplifier, the name TH-U. If you want to know more about it, I have a video over here. But let's get into this particular video. Okay girls and boys, the first thing that we're gonna do is of course pick up our guitar, plug it into our interface and then going straight to Logic. In Logic we're gonna open up a new track and then insert TH-U. Now that we have inserted TH-U as our virtual instrument, well not a instrument, our virtual guitar channel, we're gonna make sure first that we have the right amount of gain in our interface. How we're gonna do it, I'm glad that you didn't ask, and actually it's quite simple. We're just gonna click on this little button, and this is one of the very first things that I found interesting about TH-U. It allows you to see and confirm if you got the right amount of gain in your interface, which is really cool, and it's something that takes it apart from every single other one of those virtual amps in the market. So let's take a look at it. Yes, we're hitting okay, so that's good. Now that we had that out of the way, let's pick something just to get a sense of electric guitar sound, and I'm gonna record some tracks, and once I'm finished, I will see you in a few minutes, so I will speed this up. See you around. After several mistakes and several minutes, I finally got the whole track recorded, so I present to you the whole track recorded. What we got in front of us is, of course, the session, but in here we got three different tracks. Every single one of them has a corresponding guitar track. In here, what I did was recorded the same part, the same guitar part, 3 different times, playing exactly the same thing. And you might be wondering, why didn't you just duplicate the track and that's it? That's a great question, and I am glad that you actually asked. The reason is, well, it's kind of interesting, because one of the things that is going to happen is that each of those different tracks has a little difference in between each other. Because since I'm not a machine, I am still a human being, I can't play exactly the same thing over and over again. There are going to be several differences, almost unnoticeable in between each other, but they are big enough, well, they make a difference big enough for them to make some sort of quasi-chorus effect, which in simple terms makes it sound way better. So first I'm gonna show you how it sounds like by its own. First, the first track, the one that goes in the center position. So here is how it sounds like. First, without the TH-U module, because I want you to see how it sounds like without any form of amplification. Yes, I know, sounds super boring, but I wanted to show you that first because this is a great example of how a properly recorded guitar track going straight into your interface should sound like. Here you have to remember something. If you put too much gain into your interface channel, what you're gonna get is a lot of clipping, which means that you're gonna be already adding some sort of distortion to the guitar sound, which once you turn on the fake or the virtual guitar amplifier, you're going to start to develop even more distortion, which is not the one that you want. And actually the way that your guitar amplifier is going to be reacting is not going to be the reaction that you're expecting from it. Actually, if you want to learn more about how to record an electric guitar without the need of microphones, I already have a proper video somewhere around the corners of your screen. Now, coming back to the main topic of this video. Now, I'm gonna turn on the instance of TH-U. This is the first one, once again, the one in the center. So it sounds like this. You can't deny that TH-U sounds quite cool. Now, I'm gonna add it with the rest of the instruments. Here we go. Okay, I know that it sounds good, but how about if we make it sound a little much more interesting? We're gonna add the third and second track, and we're gonna insert a TH-U plugin. The three instances are running exactly the same settings. Why? Because this is part of the experiment. Follow me. You will see why. So here's how it sounds like. The three guitars, each of them are gonna be in this position. The first one going straight to the center. The second one all the way to the left. And the third one all the way to the right. Yes. And each of them have exactly the same sound. Okay, we're using exactly the same setting and the same parameters in TH-U in every single one of these guitar tracks. So here we go. They sound like this. Really cool sound, isn't it? But it can get better. Let me introduce you to a little trick. This trick consists on using the exact same setting on TH-U, but what we're gonna do is gonna change the cabinet or the IR inserted in TH-U. Let me explain why and the philosophy behind it. When you're recording an electric guitar using real life amplifiers and stuff like in the lags, you use something called microphone. I know that you might be familiar with it. And what you do with microphones is you place them in different parts of the cabinet because all of those differences between the distance, the proximity between the center of the cone by cone I mean the center of the speaker of the cabinet, and the microphone that you're putting in front of it, the kind of microphone and the type of preamp that you get in front of, you get in conjunction with that microphone, it's going to affect the sound dramatically. Now, if you want to get a thicker sound, you're going to use several combinations of microphones, several combinations of probably even different cabinets to get a result at the end. And this is exactly what we're going to do. So, heading back to Logic once again, we're going to open up our guitar, the one that goes to the left, and we're heading right into the slate cabinet IR, and we're going to pick another one. In this instance, we're going to use this one, and let me show you the one that in the center, just to confirm that it's using a completely different one. Here we're using this one, which has an E and G, bam, and in the one on the left, we're using this one. Okay. Now the third one, we're going to do exactly the same trick, but once again, using an entirely different cabinet, Impulse IR. So I'm gonna show you how they sound, what the difference of sound is with each other. So here's the first one, the one in the center. The left. The right. As you can see, some of them are a little bit brighter, some of them are a little bit more bass heavy, some of them have a little bit more bite, and so on and so forth. The idea is that each of them are complementing the parts that the previous one is lacking, and vice versa. This is more like a synergetic way of working with the electric guitar tracking. So here's how it sounds like at the end. Knowing your craft is quite important. Knowing the secrets and knowing the tricks, it doesn't matter if you know them. You have to understand how they work, and also you have to practice, because otherwise you won't be able to develop those skills. There are many ways to get to the same result. The idea is that you have to find the one that works for you, adopt it, then develop it, and then make it your own. That's the only way to improve in this business or in any business in life. If you like this kind of content, the best way to support the channel is by listening to our music on Apple Music or Spotify, or joining us in any of our several live streams that we got either on Instagram. You should follow us over there because we perform there every so often, and also you can be part of the conversation because in there we have the Sound Alchemy podcast, which is an open conversation between you guys, girls and boys, and us, the band, in which we talk about everything regarding life, music, and everything in between. Also, join me because every single Wednesday we get a really nice and interesting live stream. Next week I'm gonna be mixing this particular track that we were working on, so stay tuned. As every single time that I meet you girls and boys, I gotta tell you something. Don't let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember that. We'll see ya when I see you.